Happy birthday, Sonic the Hedgehog. This week's biggest gaming event was just I wish I didn't set it up like that. A Nintendo Direct happened this week for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. As someone with no patience for Xenoblade games, I watched this whole 24 minutes. I actually liked watching this thing. I think it was just kind of a sincere demonstration of the game. It was nice. And at the end of this whole Nintendo Direct, I knew for certain that I will never play Xenoblade Chronicles 3. It's not going to happen. It's clear to me now. Thank you for making this presentation, but still I had to think about that. Like, why? Why can't I love you, Xenoblade? I'll play any dumb JRPG. You know, I was looking at that Star Ocean game, like, ooh, this could be good. And obviously it won't be. Obviously it won't be. Why not pour Xenoblade Chronicles 3? I think it's a lot. I think actually like playing this game is a lot. The battle system is once again break, topple, launch, smash. Do these 4 things for optimal damage. You can switch immediately to now any of 6 party members who each have their own unique abilities, but they can switch classes to any of the 6 classes, but there's actually more than 6 classes because you can have a special 7th party member, a hero, and this is another party member, and then this party member will teach your other characters new classes that they can then upgrade, and then you can switch out between many different, there's secret heroes still to be seen. And then that's not all. There's also the specific pairs of your characters can combine into robots who have one of 2 forms depending on who is dominating at that moment. And then those robots have their own skill trees. And even though they promised this,
stringing together successful combos is quite satisfying.
None of it visually, watching this, looks fun to do to me. And I realized to many of you, probably yes. Like that complexity is there for the people who want it and probably not necessary for those who don't want to deal with it. What my true hang-up is, what I think this is actually about is this. And it's not just from that one particular menu, obviously. I think that screen represents my disinterest. I just have this utter disinterest, an absolute disinterest in anything that could possibly happen throughout the story. And you might be surprised, it has nothing to do with the name of the world and its factions.
This is the world of Ionios. The nations of Kevis and Agnes and their grisly conflict stand in contrast to its natural splendor.
Thanks for those up top. But it's the characters. To me, it's obviously the characters. This game has 6 main characters who are, I guess, from what I can gather, clones who can only live 10 years. That's something. That you can explore that. That's a concept. There's something there. However, the characters individually, in particular, are all... It's not like you can just point at that and say boring. You can't just do that. You've got to explain why, right? And I guess it's just the vibe I'm getting. I have no faith, no confidence that any of these 6 main characters could ever do or say anything unique or interesting. They haven't proven to do that in the 24 minutes we watched.
But I'm gonna change. Both me and this world.
You had those 24 minutes. This was your time. Yeah, I know anyone could say, well, that's just how they start the game. Obviously, the cat girl will have more depth. I mean, look, here's her depth. She smiles, she cries. You get both sides of the Catwoman. Here's what I want to present to you, is I think that creating interesting characters is actually very easy. It's actually very simple if you just give them a juxtaposition. If you give a character a this, but this, that is enough to make somebody empathetic to them immediately. This thing you already understand, but this thing you didn't expect. Like, this character is a depressed hitman, but he loves to take acting classes. I'm interested. This character is a mild-mannered high school teacher, but he makes crystal meth. this character is Sheldon, but young. Let's take a look at the rundown for each of these 6 main characters of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Alright, so we start with Noah, an off-seer trusted deeply by his allies. Boring. What's he sound like?
This is what we're meant to do.
Boring. He's boring. He's boring. How about an off-seer trusted deeply by his allies, but he can't stop stealing from them? You see, that's something. Why? Noah, why? Why are you doing that? Now I'm actually curious. What's the deal with Noah? Imagine $1,000 disappears every night and you as the player can't do a thing about it. You wake up and like a sweet sword is gone from your inventory and the characters are like, my gosh, that sword was just here yesterday. Where is it? And you see Noah's face and he's like, oh, I loved that sword. And it's like, Noah, you stole that sword. What do you... I now care. I want to see what's going on with Noah. Next, Eunie. Brash and blunt, but delicate at her core. This is embarrassing, but you do at least see here a juxtaposition of this but this. However, that's not a unique juxtaposition. We've seen this 1,000 times. Brash and blunt, but delicate? Here's what I'm pitching to you. Brash and blunt, but delicate at her core, but she eats spiders. Now you have to think about it. Because the way this usually goes is it's like, oh, well, she's gorgeous, she's brave and sweet, but she's a terrible cook. And it's like, that's the juxtaposition. The terrible cook? What? That's not even a detractor. That's nothing. That's not even. And so here it's like, Eunie eats spiders ravenously. Now, what are you gonna do? You still want to marry her? You're gonna make fan art of Eunie? If you see her catching a spider? I mean, you could still, right? This is something now that we get to explore throughout the game. Lanz, a burly brawler built for close-up combat. Do you think he might be delicate at his core too? How about this? A burly brawler built for close-up combat, but he makes everyone call him daddy. Everyone. That's going to change the dynamics. Clearly this is just like, he's just a side guy. He's a side guy, he's got fans. He's never going to be the star of any portion of this game, but he's the one they all call daddy. And it's like, even there's settings, right? If you don't go into the game menu and change his name to daddy, he won't listen to your commands. Everyone calls him daddy. Mio, a kind and compassionate off-seer. That's it for Mio. Here's what I got. A kind and compassionate off-seer, but she's always texting with Woober. She's like not always present. You know, it's like you're having your fight and it's like, who are you texting? Is it Woober? Because that's just like, nobody is emotionally available all the time. That's inhuman. It's unrelatable. Here, she's more of a real person. You can't have Mio all the time. And also, you know why this is genius? Because every player is going to wonder, who is Woober? They're going to have in their own mind an image of who Woober is. A lot of people are going to Google it. A lot of people, guarantee, a lot of people are going to be like, who is Woober? And they'll get the answer immediately. But don't think about them. Think about everyone else who's just following this narrative and they can't wait to see how Woober interacts. Think of Woober on this graph. Woober touches everyone. Here's Taion, a quick-thinking battle tactician. Phew. It's a good thing the quick-thinking one has glasses. Here's what I'm thinking for him. A quick-thinking battle tactician, but he has a really hard time remembering everyone's names. See, there's actual innate conflict there. The conflict they're setting up here is like, oh, they're from two different sides of the world. Can they get together? And like, obviously they're gonna get together. But this is gonna last. This one's got legs. Right? You're gonna be 300 hours into this game, and this poor tactician is still gonna be like, Featherhair. Sena. Small in stature, but has a giant strength. Again, that's it. It's a but. It's an attempt at a juxtaposition. Small but strong? Wow, like that's cool. It's cool to be small and strong. That's not something that intrigues you immediately to hear. Here's what I'm pitching. Small in stature, but has a giant strength, but sometimes at the crack of midnight, she turns into a little baby spider. Think about that. Obviously, that's an inconvenience for this character, but also interpersonal conflict now, interpersonal friction with Uni, who loves to eat spiders. Is she gonna? And obviously, lots of those are just like shitty jokes, but also truly meant to like demonstrate what it would take for me to be interested in this story on a surface level. I truly feel like, again, it was a 24-minute presentation. You had so much time. Yeah, you got to show me what the robots look like. I understand. You had so much time to get us invested. You started off with this. What? This looks dumb as hell. Are these people? Are they meant to look dumb? Are they meant to look insanely stupid? Is that part of this? And here's my last piece of advice. Please make sure this line gets in the game somehow.
Find your fashion and fight for the future.
That is delayed input for this week. Thank you for watching. So another thing I was thinking about making an episode about this week, and I was like writing my thoughts on this thing. It's like, look, I liked the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 presentation. I thought that was nice. I think it might actually be a good game. I was just trying to like communicate, with you about my feelings about it. There's this trailer for this new Creative Assembly game, an announcement trailer, IGN exclusive, Hyenas. Do you ever just there's like a trailer. A trailer makes one huge obvious mistake, and you're like, why did you do that? Look at this guy. Look, the Nixon mask. It's a Point Break reference. To me, there's a clear difference between like a reference, like a little nod. Oh, he slips this on sometimes for his victory pose. But that's the whole guy. Not just that, but he's prominent in this trailer. He's prominent like this is a cool guy. It is to me, I'm so scared of this guy getting on the box too. It's like Watch Dogs 3 that had the pig, and it's like, yeah, the pig is unique. The pig's an icon, but he's disgusting and bad. Same with this Nixon mask. You have a hero-based shooter, a brand new IP from Sega. Let's introduce yourselves. Show your best designs. Show your most iconic designs. Show everyone your most likable characters and the ones that you think will carry this franchise for 5 to 10 to 20 more years. My number one suggestion, just take off that mask. Just take off that mask. Take off that mask. The rest of the character designs are bad. Bad. But this is easily the worst, and I can feel your marketing team gravitating toward this guy. We need to pull them away, and the way we do that, we just peel off the mask and just make it... actual Richard Nixon would be better. Just do it. Do something different. I beg of you. Maybe they're just like Squidward. Squidward would make people laugh. Just make it a guy who looks like Squidward. He could be like, he takes off the mask and it's 2 baby heads. He could take off the mask and it's just slime that just gushes out. He could take off the mask and it's like, honestly, just considered like a 3D character, right? Who's just constantly gushing slime. He could take off the mask and it's just like a wobbling hot dog. He could take off the mask and it's like always a scan of your dad.